multiple times to do some genetic testing, to check on just uh, some things related to basically me having a woman as a donor as opposed to having a man as a donor. Put it that way. I'm not going to try to blow our business out there. That process is really the whole reason for the delay. We have been done doing tests when it came to me since probably April. Um, the it it had gone on so long that we were actually up for my yearly retests related to the transplant process. So I actually have those scheduled. The funny thing, my chest X-ray and CT scan, things like that, that we have to do yearly for me anyway. Like it's back around to that because it's that time of year again. If you remember last year around this time was when I was properly interested into the program and doing all my testing the first time around. So we really didn't have anything to talk about. It wasn't that I didn't want to share any updates with you all. It just wasn't anything to update you on. We were just waiting to hear the word. That all changed extremely rapidly. Um, my donor went in for the last test they needed, got the results, heard from the uh, living donor side of things that they were getting ready to have the meeting with my doctors and them, and they had the meeting. And Wednesday of last week, so um, the 20, excuse me, the 16th, excuse me, the 16th of October, uh, I was already in Orlando, Florida. A friend of mine had invited me to come on a trip, and it was the first time I was going to get the chance to be out of the house since this whole process started. And my doctors thought that I was okay for doing so. So we went. Um, we had just checked into the rental that we were going to be in for the whole vacation, and here came the phone call. My daughter said, all the big stuff, you sitting down, all that. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? What's going on? I'm worried that it might be, more tests or bad news. And she said, you're getting a kidney. So it is now official. Um, she was the first one to get to call me by her request. And um, she let me know, next day I was going to hear from Logan. Of course, that is my transplant coordinator. Logan's a great guy. He's just been long suffering in handling all of my inane questions. But they gave me the word. Said surgery's a go. It'll likely be that day. She said it'll likely be right before, right after Thanksgiving. Um, the thing we get the next day from Logan though is the date. So, uh, along with letting you all know that my donor is my dear long term friend, Devin. I've known Devin since I was 12, uh, literally all the way back to Smith Hale Junior High School. Um, and so Devin is being very gracious and giving me this gift and sacrificing by giving me her kidney. But November 26th, Tuesday before Thanksgiving, is going to be the surgery date. So we are really near the true end now. I've got less than 12 dialysis appointments left. We're right there. I do still have the old chest catheter, unfortunately, but that will come out along with the surgery process. And because it will no longer be necessary, it'll heal up kind of the same way that the wound from putting the kidney in will heal up. The surgery is a fairly long process, both the getting it out of Devin as well as the putting into me. For those of you all that are not aware, we don't do what they used to do anymore with these surgeries. So it used to be they would take out your kidneys and put a new one in either into the place that one of the old ones was, or they would just take out both, clean up the area, seal it off, and then attach that new kidney. Now they don't remove your previous kidneys as long as they're not like disease or something of that nature. What they do is they attach at a lower point in the abdomen, sort of closer down to where your liver is. They attach in the new kidney, the donor kidney. So that's what's going to occur for me. That process is very long. You all know I've had some previous surgeries here, both for the fistula in my left arm as well as the bariatric surgery. Those pale in comparison to how long this process takes. We're talking about, I think the longest one is the bariatric surgery. That was 2-ish and a half hours. This process is more like 8 when it comes down to it. So it's a much longer thing to do. I have to check in very early that morning. I will literally be in surgery all day. You probably will not even get an update about things unless you are currently talking to one of my care team members, that being my god sisters, my cousins, my good friend Garrett, who is actually going to be my caretaker during these first 2 weeks, Bandy, my former paralegal and good friend, obviously Devin's care team. Those folks, also will have info and will likely be able to do updates. But I won't be able to do anything update wise that first day. They've already told me, they're like, look, you're going to come out of the thing, and between the pain medication and the sedatives that they're going to give you, you're not going to be really doing anything that first day. They basically said they doubt I'll even actually eat proper food that first day. They expect me to basically be liquid until a couple of days have passed. But that is the kind of the process we're at now. The surgery is going to be at St. Luke's on the Plaza in Kansas City. Great location, really great people. Of course, have a really great friend and supporter that works in the sleep lab. Tons of great folks that have worked as part of the actual team that gets me ready for this. And so, yeah, we are finally at the big day upcoming. I don't know if I'm going to be bold enough to make a hospital GoFundMe update video, but one of the things I did want to do is to kind of in this, thank really the whole team that has gotten me to this point. I can't, like, I want to get to my doctors and things like that, but I can't talk about this without expressing to you all how important everyone at DCI and Belton has been for me. This is a 12-bed dialysis clinic, and they have gone through turnover. They have, had to deal with some unreal patients. I'm not one of them, but they've had to deal with some, and they are just situated right next to Belton Hospital, Belton Regional Hospital, and they have gone above and beyond at every turn to make sure that I was well taken care of, to make sure that I had hope, to really take away the stigma related to the dialysis process. For a lot of people, they will tell you it does feel very disheartening to be in there hooked up to this machine. And for me, I am hooked up for 4.5 hours every time, which means it's about a 5-hour overall process to get me to from dialysis as well as treatment. And the techs who have to interact with me the most, obviously, the nurses, even the doctors, that the nephrology specialists that oversee everything have all been great. But I also want to give a special shout out. Tiny Kearney, who is the social worker out there, that woman has done a ton of work on my behalf, and I think people underestimate how you feel about the thing you're doing. affects what you're doing. And DCI has been instrumental in making sure that on that daily, weekly basis, I didn't feel like giving up. They, whenever I needed the emotional support, even though like I said, they're not my therapist, but it's a little bit different when you see somebody all the time, and they've always given me the ability to feel lifted up. So I wanted to give them some recognition for that. Um, my my team is awesome. My transplant team is awesome. Logan's amazing. Uh, Logan, the scheduler, Lolo, the uh, the doctors. Dr. Forster is just out of this world awesome guy. But the same goes for the dietitian. The same goes for the pharmacist and the nephrology nurses. Like they have made this process work the way it has. And you got to understand, it's only been a year as of now that I've been in the program. Not only did we like identify that my donor was going to work, we've done all the testing for it. We are ready to go for surgery. And I know plenty of people at my clinic right now that are in, 3, 4, 5+ years of being in this process. And whether it is, things that need to get done or just, things related to, what it takes to get a transplant, it's just not happening. And I feel blessed to be where I'm at right now. So I wanted to give all that recognition to those folks on the medical side. Um, I want to give some recognition to I would call them the unsung heroes of this process for me. Um, I always talk about my mom. I always talk about to obviously secretly been saying my donor, but it's really been my friend Devin. But I do want to talk about people who uh, don't often get brought up. The first of those people is actually my editor, Chris Hines. Um, Chris is very special. Uh, Chris has to hear my inane ramblings at 2 o'clock in the morning because I've got dialysis in 3 hours and I can't go to sleep. That's right. I literally stay up late night so that I can sleep in the chair dialysis. But Chris deals with that. And I don't know that people understand how important friendships like that are. Um, Chris is one of those people that, you know, when I have to talk about things that I can't really, easily bring up, definitely in public, but, to other friends, I know that Chris isn't judging me for talking about it. Instead, it's a conversation and I'm going to get good advice. Um, of course, Garrett is the big, person that is definitely on that list of unsung heroes. There have been plenty of times where things could not have happened were it not for Garrett stepping in to take care of them. Um, I do not call him my little brother out of uh, some ego or attempt to downplay him. I call him that because it is like having a younger brother, and he truly does like look out for my best interest and tries to stand in the gap, as other folks would often say, that is left by people who would normally be here. Um, it is sometimes difficult to describe my friend Tiffany, and it's not because what she does is anything out of the ordinary. I think when you meet the two of us, you kind of understand the place she is in my life almost right away. But it's difficult to describe Tiffany because it it almost seems effortless for her. She is a standout part of faith for me, reminding me as she did while I was down in Florida, I have to stop looking at myself as not worthy of what God wants to give me. And she reminds me of the confidence that I should be having from the version of me that existed before all the sickness got me. And I know sometimes it's hard for her to be that person in my life as she goes through things, and yet she makes it seem like second nature. Um, truly, truly, love her for what she has done with me, all these years, and done for me for all these years. Um, then we get to my other big sisters, my god sisters, who have, even in my worst moments, always made sure that I felt loved and cared for. Um, who, when all of this just came crushing in, were just like, "Hey, we ain't forgot about you. We are still here for you." They make sure I get to see my mom as much as I can. Uh, they make sure that the appointments I need, people for, that they have people there for, like it, stuff that I need that other people can't help me, get taken care of. They do, they do every time. Um, and you know, getting to this point would be impossible without them. Um, my uncle Steve, my uncle Steve, will always be one of the most interesting characters in my life. Definitely the voice of my mom's family, um, and has made extraordinary efforts to take care of things as I have been unable to take care of things, both for my mom's care, but also for mine. Um, and that makes the difference in these moments. And so, like I said, I just wanted to acknowledge all of them to you all. I wanted to, uh, give them flowers for what has gone on, because we don't get here without them. So let's then move on to some other things that come up. Uh, yeah, it's time. It feels a little overwhelming, to be honest with you. Still, it's almost been well, it has been, a week plus now since I got the news, and it's still overwhelming to know, like, yeah, there is a date where there will be no more dialysis trips. There is a date where I can finally drink water at a regular pace again. There is a date where this is all actually going to happen, and it's close. Um, yeah, I I can't really fully express how big of a thing this is. Uh, One of the things that I look at is life milestones, and this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. I I I see this for what it truly is, and that is a second chance at life. Um, it's a lot. So I do want to thank all of you all. Uh, it's such a big everything. I can't express to you guys how you know thankful I am for all of you, for caring about what's happening with me, for being here for me, and I want to thank you all for um, the small and big things you've done. Uh, so many of you have, made a point to call or send texts. Hell, some folks have even come by to see me. Um, it is helped. You might think it's a small thing, but those little things are the difference between hope and despair. I truly mean that. And so we got a month. Man, we have a month left, and then it's time. I will give thanks from this year forward entirely differently than I ever have before. Um, and so I wanted to give you guys this update, the big update. We have, as my buddy Aaron did for his kidney being Bryant. Um, we have named my new kidney coming in. And so coming soon, Kidney Albert. Uh, Shout out to those of y'all who know who Katie Albert is. But yeah, everything's finally happening. So I'm excited that I get to share this news with you. So for now, I'm gonna say goodbye. If there is anything like major to say right before the surgery, I may do one update literally right before it. But look to see, kind of a base wrap up and what's going on next sometime after the surgery itself. So for now, I'll say goodbye. But thank you for continuing to be on this journey with me.